Hello, I'm Colleen Holder and this is Let's Talk Tobago. This week we're coming to you from the Richmond Great House, which is the last surviving plantation house on the island. As our program goes on, we'll tell you why this place is also known as the Jewel of Tobago. But first, in our stories this week, meeting with the Prime Minister, the Chief Secretary is proposing what he calls quarterly non-crisis meetings. 10 million for the Dwight Yorke Stadium Mondo track, and what some Tobago students taught their counterparts from the UK. It was their first meeting in a long time. The Chief Secretary, Orville London, sitting down with Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessor to discuss issues that are important to Tobago. For Mr. London, his was a long list, from internal self-governance to providing funding for housing programs in Tobago. David Jacobs reports.
The Chief Secretary is hoping to strengthen the relationship between central government ministers and THA secretaries. He hopes that eventually he will be able to have quarterly meetings with the Prime Minister. In addition to this, he's seeking central government collaboration to revitalize Tobago's economy.
As you're aware, maybe about a year ago, there was a very important meeting held at Cocoa Reef involving the Ministers of Trade, Finance and Tourism, along with their counterparts in the Tobago House of Assembly, where we discussed the revitalization of the tourism sector and, of course, generally how the central government and the Tobago House of Assembly could collaborate in ensuring that the Tobago economy is able to surmount the challenges.
The Chief Secretary is also lobbying for the Tobago House of Assembly representation on national boards and commissions.
I think I've said enough about that for you to be aware of what my concerns are with respect to the THA not being represented on boards for which the THA does in fact have some level of responsibility, and the effect of the absence of the THA representation, and how it, of course, means that the decision-making process is often flawed.
Mr. London also wants more funding for housing on the island. I am David Jacobs for Let's Talk Tobago.
Modern facilities that are hygienic, sanitary and comfortable. It's a shift away from roadside vending to what we've come to know as the Barbados Bay Fish Market. It was opened just about 2 years ago, giving Tobago's fishermen a place to bring their catch to the market, but this time in a manner that complies with health and safety standards. Lois Vincent explains.
This fish depot was built in 2011 at the cost of $2.5 million. The facility includes a vending area, these lockers to store equipment, stainless steel counters, bins, a walk-in freezer, ice-making machine, water tank and pump. And there is a separate conference room. These are accommodations many of the fish vendors are happy with.
It's a good facility, yes, but the more sanitary and everything better than the roadside, the dust-wise and vehicles pollution and whatnot, so forth, coming on the fish while they're selling fish.
The new facility is very good. It is more sanitary and more safe to us and other people. And I enjoy being inside here because you're walking in comfort.
This facility is part of the Tobago House of Assembly's plan to restrict the sale of fish on the roadside. The Assembly wanted to provide a safe, comfortable and sanitary facility that could be enjoyed by both fisherfolk and customers. But has this worked?
I was surprised at the facilities actually, because I was looking for the little table on the outside, what we're accustomed to. But it's quite nice and it's cool because it's air conditioned, yeah. I think it brings a nice professional approach to fishing.
Well, the facility is a good thing, you know. Yeah, as I say, for the whole of Tobago, because it come like a blessing then, because it come like grocery, it come like a fish grocery, right? Anytime you want fish, you come in here, right on the road, you come and get a fish, and the niceness is real good.
Well, as you can see, the facility that we have here, And this is a wonderful job that the assembly doing. I wish that we could have more in this. And today, fish is like $15 a pound, which is good. We like it.
It's wonderful. I mean, it's for health-wise, it's comfortable, convenient, and I only hope that people make use of it, because on the beach, like this dust and all kind of things you're facing, it's the best thing that I've seen around this area, and I wish they take care of it and utilize it in the best way they could.
A number of other areas have been identified for similar facilities. They are Plymouth, Delaford, Castara, Roxborough, Belgarden, Argyll and Palatuvier. I am Lois Vincent for Let's Talk Tobago.
Since the world financial crisis, it's been nothing but hard times for families the world over. The unemployment figures haven't improved significantly and more people are finding it difficult to cope. But here in Tobago, there's an initiative designed to ease some of those economic burdens. As Davia Chambers tells us, it's a plan that subsidizes transportation for our students.
This initiative started over 20 years ago and is a collaborative effort between the Tobago House of Assembly and the Public Transportation Service Corporation, designed for secondary school students. It means they can get to school and back home free of charge.
I think the maxi taxi idea is a great idea because it helps our children who doesn't have financial things, so it could help. The maxi is free, so it helps everybody.
Some people don't have the amount of money to afford to come to school in the morning, so probably the maxi would have been a great idea.
That good thing because it take off to and from school, because it's free.
The drivers consider it to be a great idea.
It's good, it's working good. I think it's a good initiative by the education to have the buses, but there's not enough transport for the children. They need to have some more transport for the children.
Well, I feel the school transport system is very good. And I know that the children depend on it and they just feel stranded when they are disappointed, because once in a blue moon a bit might break down, and they just feel disappointed about it.
I believe it's a good system. It is. That's why we are in it.
In January alone, over 9,000 students in Tobago benefited from these services. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but do stay with us. Coming up, how the Lambo Sports Facility has brought that community closer together.
My name is Kathy Anthony Mohana. My business is 3K's Cleanings. Before, we tried to buy a power washer 3 times, but this time around, we got a check exactly to go and get what we needed. It was all fun and interesting, and it was new to me because going to a government to get help is not an easy thing. Getting through, it was really, really helpful. If you need help, you can go and get a grant, and it will help you a great deal.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
Welcome back. This is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Richmond Great House, a place that was rescued from destruction in the 1970s. It's known as the Jewel of Tobago, sitting on 5 acres of pristine land overlooking both the ocean and the rainforest. But more on our beautiful backdrop later. Let's get back to our program. And this time we want to tell you that all is being done to ensure the Dwight Yorke Stadium returns to a condition that's fit for our athletes. So much so, the Tobago House of Assembly, the THA, has agreed to foot the bill to repair the stadium's Mondo track. Caroline Wallace has more.
The Dwight Yorke Stadium is in many ways the nucleus of athletics here in Tobago, but the Ministry of Sports, under whose control the stadium falls, says it just cannot fund all the repair works that has to be done. The Chief Secretary says the track has come to the end of its useful life, and the Assembly had no choice but to step in.
It is a sport company that has that contract, and therefore the funding will be made available to the sport company through the MOU, and the sport company will make the funding available to the contractor.
Mr. London says $10 million is needed for the repairs, half of which the THA has to provide almost immediately.
In discussions with the sport company, it was identified that funding for the Dwight Yorke, for the track, could not be sourced. That they might be able to source funding for the repair of the pavilion. And we had no choice.
The Chief Secretary says Tobagonian athletes would have suffered if the Assembly did not intervene and provide the funding needed.
They requested funding to do all the stadium. And when they did the arithmetic, they couldn't find funding to do everything that had to be done on all the stadium.
The stadium has a crowd capacity of 7,500 and is used by Tobagonians for major athletic events. I am Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're staying with sports for a while longer. This time, we want to tell you what has caused tennis participation on this island to increase. Now, Tobago is no stranger to hosting international meets. Last year alone, it was the venue of choice for both the West Indies Under-17 and the Caribbean Under-17 football tournaments. But that wasn't all. 2012 saw this island hosting 2 international tennis tournaments as well. And as we hear from Umadara Mills, this happened partly because of the superior facilities available right here in Tobago.
The Shore Park Tennis Facility is one of 14 tennis courts which are lit in Tobago. The lights and the playing surface in particular have been certified by the International Tennis Federation, giving Tobagonian players a world-class opportunity.
Some places you can't play until like after 5 or so unless you pay, and here we get the lights free because we train here with our coach. So actually it's a real good advantage that we have lights and we can train in the night.
16-year-old Ty Abraham is ranked number 2 in the national under-18 category. During the week he trains from 3:30 to 7 p.m. Ty says having well-lit courts allows him to train for longer periods and to perfect his game.
It's good having the guys come down here from away the countries and come and play on our court, you know, because we go up, you know, stuff like that. And since we got this tournament down here, it's great for everybody to come down, the challenge to come down here, you know, everybody getting a feel of what Tobago is like, you know, the tennis and how everything going.
Romeo Abraham plays 2 roles as vice president of the Crusoe Isle Tennis Club and a parent. He has 3 children who practice at the facilities. He says it has helped many young players develop their skills to match top-rated performers.
It is the birthplace of a lot of, well, maybe all the up-and-coming junior tennis players in Tobago. And it would give them an opportunity to practice at any time. And as I said, it is properly lit, and the coaches and the students would have an opportunity to extend the training hours as they see fit.
Tennis coach David Denoon has been involved in the sport for over 20 years and currently trains players through the Department of Sports Tennis Elite program in the THA. He says coaches from other countries are also impressed with the facilities in Tobago.
It is probably the best public facility in the world. I've been to France, I've been to Germany, I've been to Poland, I've been to Thailand, I've been to England, I've been to many parts of Europe, many parts of the United States, and I have never seen a public facility like this one.
The president of the Crusoe Isle Tennis Club, Dr. Dwight Angus, says because there are many options, his club has been able to facilitate more training sessions. Crusoe Isle Tennis Club trains both young club members and school children from the THA's Elite Schools Tennis program.
We have a lot more courts and we can sectionalize the players into different groupings, maybe newcomers, intermediate, advanced, and elite.
Dr. Angus says Tobago's hosting of international tournaments, such as the Davis Cup last year, has stimulated more interest in the sport. It's hoped that the international quality of the tennis courts and the lights at Shore Park will allow Tobago to continue to facilitate more sporting meets in the future. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Lambo, a quiet developing village that sits on the southwestern edge of Scarborough along the Atlantic Ocean. The area is known for its fresh fish and its breezy days and nights. But this hilly community has a bit more to boast about. It's home to a sports facility that residents say has brought the community closer together. Lisa Marie Bonaparte picks up that story.
On a quiet day, this is what it looks like. But this space, known as the Lambo Sports Facility, has brought the community closer since it was built just about 6 years ago. Resident Norville Moore acts as the president of the Lambo Village Council. He says the sports facility keeps the youth busy.
Well, everybody meshing together now through the facility, right? For example, look at the Village Council. We had a community center where we used to keep meeting. Right now it's down. They use the facilities here to keep our meetings. We have a church, kindergarten school come by Miss Boswin. They use it on a Sunday evening for the little children, teaching them the word of the Lord and whatever. So the community much more closely knit.
It's a long way from the days when Mr. Norville was unhappy with the way his community was labelled.
Lambo was more involved in a lot of crime, purse snatching and all these kind of things. Now when you hear about Lambo, you hear about Lambo on the news, it's sports, some football game they win, some basketball game they win. And so it uplifts the community by far.
Now that the youth are kept busy with sports, Lambo has made a 180-degree turn. In November, lights were added to the playing field.
Now that the facilities have lights, we have session night, and the older guys, the over 40 team, more used to train in the night. And the younger guys, because they have a hectic thing, used to be in the day after 4. Now the over 40 are in competition now with the guys, and then because them like the night sessions.
Tony Bishop donated a portion of land to the Lambo Village Council. The first community centre was built there by the villagers, but when he saw the number of children growing in the community,
he donated the extra piece of land to put a playground. That is about 10 years after he already gave us the land for the community centre. So that is how this piece of land become available.
Mr. Moore hopes that the community of Lambo will become more involved in Best Village and other competitions. But for now, he's happy there's an inter-community spirit that is encouraged by the participants of the Lambo Sports Facility. I am Lisa Marie Bonaparte for Let's Talk Tobago.
What can our students teach a group of educators and their pupils from the United Kingdom? Well, Davia Chambers spoke to a team that's visiting the Caribbean for the first time as part of an exchange program. She found out what they learned after a few days of activities that included academic work, a T20 cricket match and football.
Trinidad and Tobago's education system uses a model that's largely adopted from the British curriculum. So there wasn't much of a culture shock when a team from Cherry Willingham Community School in England visited Tobago during an exchange program. They collaborated with a team from Mason Hall Secondary School.
I realized that there were assistant teachers for those students who could not cope, and they would go to classes with students and assist them during the lessons. In addition, there was also a special department that dealt with students who had hearing disabilities and students who, for some reason or another, they had speech problems. So they would take their classes with these special tutors.
One of the teachers accompanying the students from Cherry Willingham School, Councillor Ross Little, says he is happy with the reception he received from the staff and the students of Mason Hall Secondary School.
We knew when we went there it was going to be incredibly friendly, that the students would take care of our students during the day, and our expectations were very high before we came, and we have to say that we were very pleased.
It was the first time that the students from Cherry Willingham Community School had visited the Caribbean. Here's how they summed up their experience.
It's really friendly and everybody is so nice.
It's just brilliant. The people are very friendly and you can get along with them so easy.
The Mason Hall Secondary School is hoping to visit Cherry Willingham School next year. This exchange was facilitated through the Global Partnership Project, which creates relationships between schools in the UK and schools in Africa, Latin America, Asia and the Caribbean. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time for another break, but stay with us because on the other side, fostering PAN in Tobago.
Because of hard times, I was feeling kind of useless. Went into the city, I bought an oven and decided to open a little cake shop. I went into the office and I got a form, and the staff was very helpful, and they helped me make up the form and give me all different kind of information, and it was easy, very easy. I would say thanks to the Business Development Unit for all the assistance that they are given to me.
Redefining business, protecting Tobago's heritage.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Let's Talk Tobago. We're coming to you from the picturesque and historic Richmond Great House located atop the hill outside of Belgarden. Today, it's a private home that can be rented or toured by you or me. But as far back as 1776, it was home only to a succession of Englishmen and planter class. But that's our history lesson on this location. For now, we're switching gears to tell you how this island is producing bands that can compete side by side with their Trinidad counterparts and in many instances emerge victors. Davia Chambers tells us what are the factors that contribute to their success.
Tobago's bands have been doing extremely well at Panorama. This year alone, they grabbed the 1st, 3rd, 7th and 9th spots in the medium band category. No small accomplishment for an island that does not have the traditional big names in Pan. The captain of the band that walked away with the 2013 National Panorama Medium Band's title says nothing can happen without funds.
THA has done, I think, what it possibly can. Of course, as a Pan player, it never could be enough. It's very costly to take a band to Panorama, and THA's part there to play, we would have to be thankful for it.
The THA provides free accommodation and transportation for bands which qualify for the National Panorama. Mr. Solomon says this allows his players to pursue their passion.
It would help because if you notice, most of the bands in Tobago today, a number of young people playing in the bands. And that would assist in a great way. So I think the program is a good one. The bands will have to extend it. Because when they come from there, they have the basics, but then you will have to improve on it.
The coordinator of the Pan in Schools program believes that the assistance given by the Assembly helps to foster this art form here in Tobago.
If it wasn't for the vision of the THA, most of the bands would have fallen through the crack. In the sense that resource base, the financial resource that is given, really stops a hole. In the true sense of the word, right? The bands are able to use that to build on whatsoever they would have had, so as to compete successfully.
But from where Mr. Kwashi sits, he's looking beyond simply playing in bands to programs such as Pan Camp during the August vacation and the Pan in Schools project.
Let's look at the Division of Education, for example. The Pan in Schools program, 30 out of the 53 educational institutions on the island have steel pan instruments. So that's where the bands are going to be fed from. Additionally, we have summer programs. There's not a summer that would have gone since 2003 where we would not have had pan camps. So all these little programs, projects that I would have done, developed, they are now bearing some fruit.
In fact, Mr. Kwashi is working with the University of the West Indies to develop a curriculum for the technical vocational students in secondary schools.
So that pan technology, steel pan technology, can be taught. In other words, our artisans, our pan tuners are aged and dying. How do we replace that stock? We are saying, let's invest in the secondary system. Have a pan technology program in the secondary school system. Work out the syllabus, let you do the work. There are experts there doing it.
The Assembly has invested in this country's national instrument, funding projects such as the Cats and Jammers Pan Theatre, THA Pan Champs, and the Tobago Junior Panorama, among others. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
From steel pan to sports tourism, here are the results of the Tobago Carnival Regatta, an annual event that seeks to encourage young people to get involved in sport and to develop a sea culture.
Venezuelan Herbert Hernandez from the Team F1 emerged victorious in the Tobago Carnival Regatta held at Pigeon Point Heritage Park. His daredevil skills and tricks in the freestyle, kiteboarding and riding waves categories were unmatched by the competitors from Barbados, Switzerland, Germany, Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago. But Team Trinidad and Tobago, comprising of Tobagonian Orion Zakharov and Jack Azar, still managed second and third place respectively. Dubbed the Festival of Wind, the Tobago Carnival Regatta signals the start of sport tourism activities on the island. And water sports enthusiasts were only too eager to display their intricate maneuvers in the water.
I am from Venezuela, Margarita Island. We love kiting over there. And this is my first visit to Tobago, and I have to congratulate all you guys because the island is beautiful, but the spot here in Pigeon Point is fantastic.
The 4-day regatta had persons competing in windsurfing, bumboat racing, sailing and kiteboarding. Budding sailors from Pigeon Point Sailing Club, Roxborough Police Youth Club, Vesney Vikings and the Shagaramas were part of the event, competing in the Optimist category.
I like to sail and watch other people make fun and things. Have fun. We like to have the fun about going out and seeing the different fishes and things and the experience.
I like to go out in the water.
You have to go out in the water to sail and to enjoy yourself.
I like to see people from the boat and have fun.
Well, it just feels like so nice that you can still be around the water and have fun, but you don't have to actually get wet, and it's just you feel a little more free.
Manager of the event, Nikki Board, said that the goal is to encourage the youth to get back in the water and to develop qualified sailors who can make a living at the sport in sport tourism in Tobago. From the Division of Tourism and Transportation, I am Juliet James reporting for the Department of Information.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, the viewers. This week, as the Chief Secretary prepared to meet with the Prime Minister, we asked, how do you see that meeting helping Tobago? This is what you said.
We all have to live with each other. We have to be responsible for what actions we take to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And if the Chief Sec has to meet with the Prime Minister, it's the only way we can know if things will work.
It should benefit Tobago because the Chief Secretary negotiating on behalf of Tobago.
I think that it's a wise move, right? And I mean, we are Trinidad and Tobago after all.
I basically see it as the Chief Secretary seeking the best interest of Tobago, ensuring that the central government ensuring that the central government gives Tobago its fair share.
The Chief Sec meeting with the Prime Minister, that's a good thing. And I know that Tobago is going to benefit from it.
The Chief Sec meeting with the Prime Minister is supposed to be a good thing, so long as she decides to cooperate with him, work with him and inform him of things, you know, like events happening, not like in the past where she will just come and do things and not inform him.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Do remember you can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. On behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, I'm Colleen Holder. Have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, let's leave you now with some more scenes from the historic Richmond estate.